5 seconds. 5 seconds.
Holding one in one hand threw me off balance, so I had to buy another. So.
And good evening, and welcome to the Soul Citizens. I am GriffinGamingRPG, and we are back for another fun-filled Sunday with our wonderful cast and co-host and our special guest this week, which we are very excited to have with us. Nobody has to introduce him. Do we have to introduce him, fastcart?
I thought you were going to introduce me.
Oh, okay, well, I'll introduce you first then. Okay, our special guest, fastcart. No, this week, as you guys know, first of all, thank you guys for being here tonight. We really appreciate you as always. Appreciate you guys. Travin, good to see you. Always glad to have you guys here. Space Clown, good to see you. Oh, what do you mean, oh boy, here we go? What is that supposed to mean? Anyway, thank you guys for being with us again on another Sunday night. And again, we do want to introduce our special guest this week. None other than a good friend and great streamer, and definitely a positive aspect to the whole Star Citizen community. The man himself, Captain Richard. Captain Richard, how are you, buddy?
Hi, how are you?
Doing fine. Good to have you with us. How's your Sunday been going?
I'm doing well. Man, I might be a roll because you're trying to butter me up.
No. You know what, Cap, now that I think about it, you don't normally stream on Sundays, or do you do you on the special occasion when you do it on Sundays?
Well, I used to try to do, like things that actually, weren't Star Citizen, maybe play some retro games or indie games on Sundays. But I'm also a Discord partner, and I have a pretty active Discord. And sometimes we'll get together and watch movies and things on Sunday nights, and that's actually gotten pretty popular. So I've been slacking a little bit, but no, it's nice to finally join you on the rest of the Soul Citizens team on the podcast.
And we appreciate that. You've been one of our dear supporters ever since day one, and I want to tell you thank you from all of us. For helping get the word out about us. And of course, we're glad to have you on board.
Sure.
Let's see. We also have today, let's start at the other end. The man himself, he freaked us out tonight. Younique is dressed to the nines in his concierge gear. We have got to give him some props tonight. So Younique, how are you, man?
I'm fine. I just thought you wanted to bring it for this special show and this special topic and all of these special ed people. So here we go.
Yeah, this is definitely the short bus end of Star Citizen. So
hey, that's my thing.
and I need a ride.
And speaking of, none other than the man himself, the ambassador of Star Citizen, fastcart. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, thank you. And I want to say thank you for the raid from Trip Rodriguez. He brought in some people. So thank you.
I missed that. Trip Rodriguez did. Oh, wow. He did. Wow, thank you, Trip. You sure did. With a party of one. Good to have you,
Welcome,
buddy.
everyone.
We're happy to have you, man. No, Trip is very cool. We were talking about him the other day, his outrageously cool rig that he has. And we were like so impressed watching him for a little while after our show. And he is so cool. He has great information. And we got to have him on the show. By the way, fastcart, he said, if you guys ever want me on the show, just let me know. So we're
we'll take him up on that one.
I told him you ain't said nothing but a word. We'll have you on here. You see, we got Captain Richard Trip, so you know we're coming to get you next, just so you'll know. All right. Again, it's good to have everybody. Listen, this week's show is titled Crossing into Concierge. The question becomes, what does this mean? And we're talking about the fact that, as you guys know, there are a lot of people who play Star Citizen who have invested a lot of money into the game as backers. And for some people, it's been very intentional. They had a certain dollar amount that they felt they would spend on the game, and they worked their way there over a period of time. There are other folks who just got there, didn't realize they'd get there. People like myself who just one day looked up and found out that they had put a lot more into this game than they thought they would. And we're not doing this to say this is what you should do. Let's put that disclaimer on this show.
Oh, yeah.
We are not saying that you should follow in our footsteps necessarily, unless your intention is to back the development of this game. So we want to kind of give you guys that disclaimer right from the very beginning. But we are going to talk about what it means to be concierge and how it's impacted each one of us individually. And then, of course, you guys, we're always looking at chat. We love to see what you guys have to say and think about it as well. So let me open up the conversation with the very basics of Gladestone. Thank you for the subscription. 30K for life. Thank you for the follow as well. You guys are already starting. Coin toss. Thank you. Sigelian, good to see you. We haven't seen Sigelian in a little while. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so let's jump into this, guys. When it comes into going into Concierge, let me start with our guest first. Captain Richard, when you first started, were you aware of Concierge? And when did it kind of hit you that, did you actually, I hate to use the word aspire, but did you kind of say, boy, I really would like to cross that line? Or did you just one day realize that you had put so much into the game that you all of a sudden were, crossing that 1,000 mark?
Well, I actually, I'm kind of wondering. Man, you got me thinking. When did Concierge actually start? Because I've admittedly been around since kind of the beginning of the game. So, what it might have been, maybe I don't remember if maybe I'd already kind of crossed that threshold before the Concierge program even started.
Unique, do you remember?
I got the feeling that you were Concierge. I got the feeling you were Concierge when it came out.
Yeah, because it obviously wasn't there because CIG had no idea that their game was going to blow up, or project it was going to blow up as massively as it did. So I seem to. It's a little fuzzy. But yeah, I seem to recall them starting the Concierge program. But let's see. Yeah, Flynn Dragon, who's actually a moderator for my channel here on Twitch, says we both crossed that line before the program began. So I think the question might be when did Concierge start? Maybe if we have any historians that actually might remember. I don't know if Younique might know when that started.
Recall when it actually started, but I was already in
You're
Space
already
Marshal.
there.
When I noticed that suddenly said you have these badges, and I'm like, what are these badges? And I had to research to figure out where they came from. And then I had a bunch of them, and then that was terrible because you didn't know which one you wanted to put on there because you didn't really understand what they all meant.
Right. Yeah. So it almost kind of begs the question: if people who were already backing the game at the amount or even over what was required to become a Concierge level backer, that's that's almost like saying it's like, hey, yeah, we're backing it before we're even expecting to get anything beyond just the game itself, which is man. Now I want to know when did Concierge start?
I'm trying to look it up. I don't see it.
Somebody look that up.
Yeah,
Come on, team.
Gatto's in chat is saying Concierge was around 2015. So yeah, the project would have been out for a few years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I
feel like it's before 2015 because I became Concierge in 2015.
Well, I tell you what, can you guys do this? If you can pull up on your browser your account under Concierge and look under High Admiral, because that's the first level, and see what your date is. And maybe that'll give us some bearing. Mine was March.
I already know that's a date when they started keeping track. That date is not accurate.
The March 6th date. Is that the tracking date?
That's the tracking. That's when they started tracking it.
March 6th is.
Yeah, because I remember.
Okay, then that means that I had crossed it already beforehand too. Then okay.
Right.
Okay.
What year did it say?
2016 for me.
Yeah, I think that's probably the day they started tracking it. Let me look.
Okay. Okay. Well, while these guys are looking up their dates for High Admiral, and for those of you who don't know, we're going to talk about the different levels that are in Concierge. Once you reach 1,000, you reach what we call Concierge, and at that level, there are some quote unquote benefits that you get from Star Citizen. Thrakkazags, thank you for the 1 month subscription. Thank you. And XXH3 Rux, thank you for the follow.
Thank you.
War Machine 553090, thank you for the follow. Renmoto, thank you for the follow. And Day Da Vinci, thank you for the follow. Let's go down some of the list of this stuff here, guys, while you guys are on your Concierge page. Some people say, well, what are the benefits, right, when you cross that line, when you go into Concierge? One of them is early access. You get early notice to exclusive access to select Star Citizen live events and sales. And I guess I want to ask each one of the panelists, has that been beneficial to you? And for those of you who don't know, there are times when there may be a concept ship that goes on sale, and usually they may go on sale on Friday to the general community, but maybe on Thursday, if you're Concierge, you may be able to get it a day early. Back in the day, you used to be able to get it with LTI. Sometimes there would be a discount, whatever the case may be. Cap, let me start with you. Did that one benefit you at all, the early access, when it came to Concierge? Or did it not make a difference?
No, it did because I don't know if you remember some of the Citizen Con tickets. They remember when they would do them in batches, and the batches, those initial batches would sell out pretty quick. So having early access to those was kind of nice. So
yep, that was definitely an advantage. Fastcart, what about you?
Definitely getting into those early waves that definitely helped, especially when you wanted to get like a Citizen Con ticket. I mean, I missed one of the waves one time, and I fortunately able to get it on the second wave. But if I was like, if I wasn't on the F5 or refreshing right immediately, I would have missed it. So yeah, it definitely helped me out there.
Okay, Younique, what about you?
It's kind of like the rides at Disney. Like there's two lines. You can go to that shorter line and the express line and get in. You might not be in the first chair, but you're definitely in the first couple of chairs. So yeah, getting tickets early, getting a ship early. But the thing I actually enjoyed the most was they tend to respond more personal and quicker to some of the complaints or tickets that you put in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they give you a little bit of kit glove stuff there, and that's kind of nice. You feel more connected. I doubt that you really are, but you feel more connected.
Okay. One of the things I do like, Cap, you mentioned this, was the early access to tickets. I think even they did it for the Bar Citizen, if I'm not mistaken. They gave us a little bit of a leeway on that for the con as well. Did any of you guys, miss any of the panelists, did any of you guys ever get to take advantage of the live events? Where they had something at CIG and you got to go to that because of Concierge. Did any of you guys ever do that?
I know what you're talking about, but I think so far, no, not yet. Where they invited people to, have a private studio session. I think they did that once in Germany and then once or twice in CIG LA.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't taken advantage of that.
Yeah,
not yet.
I mean, you didn't get a chance to take the lobster dinner that they serve everyone for $350.
Well, I think I remember I had actually just been to CIG LA previously, and so I was kind of debated. It's like, well, I have to be honest, I actually went to that without actually having to buy a ticket previously. So I think that might have influenced my decision. But no, I still think it's cool though. I still think it's really awesome that they have kind of private, small concierge events for people who can make it out.
Yeah. There was one other thing that's not listed here, but for those of you who've gone to Citizen Con, they actually had a lounge. I remember when we went in 2018, they had a lounge for Concierge. It was like a bar area that was separate from the larger area. You could, of course, go down where the community was, but they had an area that was upstairs, was an outdoor deck, had its own bartender, and you could go chill with people in a much more private space. So that was one of the things I remember that was kind of one of those benefits. For some people, they didn't care about it. I went up there just to see what it was like, but there were people up there chilling out, in that area because it was not as noisy, and it brought a couple friends up there. So that was pretty neat. Younique, you just touched on this, the expedited customer service. Cap, for you, has that been something that you've been able to see that you actually, when you put in a ticket or something to tech support, that they do get back to you fast, or do you still feel like I'm not seeing that happen?
Yeah, I might be a little bit biased though, because I haven't really, I don't remember if I ever filed a ticket before being concierge. So I've always had good response, and that's probably because of the concierge perk of getting kind of a higher priority in the ticket queue. So I've always had good turnaround even when they're busy. So
okay, FC.
Yeah, I made a big mistake when back in the day. Like I always knew I wanted a Benny Merchantman, so I made a mistake. I had a physical package of the Constellation toys that was like $200, and it had 6 months insurance. So at the time, I didn't think I was going to invest as much money into the game as I thought I was going to invest. So I made my Constellation toys that had 6 months insurance into a Benny Merchantman, and I didn't know, and they always talk about cross chassis downgrades that was going to become a thing, and I kept on waiting for that feature to occur, and to this day it's still not a thing. So I sent in a ticket asking whether or not they could make my Benny Merchantman into a Constellation Toys again, and I can turn something with LTI into a Merchantman. And they said yes, that my toys qualified, so they did that for me, and I was very grateful for that.
That's nice.
Yep, very cool. Younique, I know you mentioned that too, right? Expedited. You felt like you got some good responses back because of that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was actually shocked when I put in my first ticket through there that they came back, and part of it was just to see, like, are they really going to hold up to what they said they did? And they did. It was a person, not from a form message or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now it wasn't super helpful in my situation, and me as a computer guy,
right?
I just sent back a message and explained how unhelpful that was.
Okay, fair enough.
And that if you're going to respond, you really should know something. And they got somebody more experienced on it like that. So hopefully I helped them with understanding tech support a little bit. So
okay, cool.
It wasn't all that nice.
Okay,
sorry.
Be nice. I know you say I'm paying this much money. I'm always nice, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, one thing that I had happen, and I don't know if anybody else ever did this before, but Fastcart, you talked about how you asked them to kind of do some shifting some things around for you. I ended up buying, and this was my own ignorance, when the Valkyrie, there was a time when the Valkyrie was the subscriber of the month ship, and I purchased it, and I just assumed that because it was subscriber that it had like a decent amount of insurance on it, or LTI. And after I got it, I saw it only had 6 months of insurance, and I was like, ugh. So I contacted them and said, hey, if I do an upgrade from an LTI bike that I have to this ship, would you guys give me the credit for it? And they were like, boom, yeah, they did. And so they were very flexible in me still. Now, mind you, some people might say that had nothing to do with being concierge. It's just the fact you gave them some more money. So that might have been the factor too. And so my question to you, Cap, is, have you ever had an experience like that where there was something you wanted and you did ask CIG for it and they kind of did a little extra for you? Or, you don't think it has anything to do with concierge?
Well, I actually have a perfect example of where even being concierge won't get you, quote unquote, special treatment. Mm-hmm. So there is of course, the Gladius. They have the gold standard Gladius now, but of course there is the Pirate Gladius.
Right.
And there was a very limited amount of time to get the Pirate Gladius with LTI, and at the time I actually didn't get it, but I thought eventually I would be able to, take another LTI ship or mm-hmm. vehicle, a token, and be able to upgrade to it through a CCU, and that turned out to not be the case. So, very, very, very gently, I reached out to customer support, concierge support, and said, hey, is there any way I would be able to, maybe do a CCU or something or other to be able to get a Pirate Gladius with LTI instead of the standard 6 months that you can get with it, or 3 or 6, mm-hmm. I can't remember, but and I had a little bit of back and forth, but they were pretty adamant in saying that, yeah, no, you had to pick it up when it was offered with LTI. It's kind of a special edition ship. That's why there aren't any CCUs for it. Mm. And so, yeah, concierge or no, that they whoa, Mad
Style, you are crazy.
Blowing up.
He is insane. Mad Style, thank you so much as always. It's insane. You all be sure to tell Mad Style thank you tonight. Oh God. Yeah, we'll have to do a giveaway now since Mad Style has done that tonight. We will have to do a giveaway. Yeah, Cap, that's an interesting story that was what you did, because like I said, I asked for something and they kind of did flex a little bit. I'll tell you mm-hmm. something that I didn't get, and I know this is posted on the site, but when I first started, let me say some hellos to everybody. Alicenor EGA153, thank you for the follow. XX, I think I said XX3 Rux, thank you for the follow. 00 Mike 2019, thank you for the follow. And Orion Ellison, thank you. And First Chapter, thank you for the follow. When I first started in Star Citizen, I came out of Eve, and you know how many people who play Eve have multiple accounts. And so I just kind of by default, I used to always run at least 2 accounts in Eve. One was my main character, one was my support character. And I did the same thing in this. Once I got into Star Citizen a little bit more, I started realizing, hey, maybe I don't need to have these 2 accounts. I'll merge my 2 accounts together. I've been asking for that for 4 years. It ain't happening. It still hasn't happened. They say that it's something that they don't do. And they actually do have it printed on their page that they don't merge accounts. Before they didn't have it printed there. But that's something I couldn't get them to do. Even though both accounts are owned by me, I figure, hey, what's the big deal? Show you my ID. You should be able to do it. Ain't happening. So it's not going to happen. Go ahead, Fastcart. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was just looking at my support inquiries, and I've forgotten this, and I've forgotten, but I shouldn't have forgotten. But I went to CitizenCon 2016 and CitizenCon in 2018, and at the bottom or in the middle of the page, they say if you have wheelchair or special needs or stuff like that, contact them, and they can make certain adjustments or meet your special needs. So I did that a couple of times, and they were really good about that.
Very cool. Very cool. Matt Rodeo, thank you for the subscription. We appreciate it. Okay, let's go ahead and jump down through some of the rest of these here. We talked about expedited customer service, exclusive community, entry to concierge-only forums and chat groups. Cap, I'm just real straightforward. Do you spend any time in those chat groups and forums, or just depends, or I never read them?
Not on Spectrum, so I guess this wouldn't really be a perk specifically from CIG's concierge, but sometimes I poke around in some of the concierge / Legatus groups for Discord communities. But
okay.
I have to be honest, I've never really quite made I don't know, I really just kind of dip my toes in there every so often. But that would be when I kind of was little I guess I don't know, maybe I should pop in more often.
Okay, gotcha. Dr. Drones, thank you for the host. And I forgot, I didn't see who it was before that. It began with the O, but thank you for the host as well. We appreciate it. fastcart, do you use any of those forums, any of that stuff, or do you not pay attention to the concierge areas?
Not as much as I should, but I haven't been in there as much. Like maybe when they first announced it, I took a look around, but after that, not much.
Okay. VerseCon, thank you for the host as well. And I'm sorry I didn't get to see the first one because it disappeared so quickly. But thank you guys for the host so much. Let's see. I can't read that one either, but thank you for the host. Maybe Fastcart can read it better than I can when it pops up.
Major Stacy, Major Static X.
Thank you. Thank you for the host. Younique, do you mess around any of those forums, any of that concierge stuff on Spectrum, or you don't pay attention to it?
Not at all.
Not at all.
I learned my lesson a long time ago. Online forums and chats and stuff, you just doesn't matter. Somebody's ready to hawk you every time, so they just jump on you no matter which opinion you have or anything you say. It's not right with somebody, so I just don't participate.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. There's a lot of enthusiasm for Spectrum, obviously. Okay. Let's go on to the exclusive products. Access to concierge-only digital packages and Chairman's Club branded physical merchandise. Visit the store to see what's available now. Captain Richard, have you done any of your digital packages through Concierge, or did you just do the regular general stuff that flew through?
I've done a few concierge things. Well, actually, I'm trying to think of. So sometimes there are things that you can only get access to. Like, some people might be familiar, some might people not be, but there are actually game packages where, a bunch of different ships and things that you can't even see on the CIG Pledge Store unless you're concierge. Mm-hmm. So I've picked up a couple things here and there, notably, a couple big packages for giveaways on my channel. But there's stuff that even if I don't pick it up, it's nice to be able to see the option. But I think the big thing that I always remember is that not everyone can see all of those offerings or packages, including some packages that have LTI, even if they don't cross the $1,000 threshold. So those are some I guess optional, kind of expensive, but optional things that they offer to concierge members only.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Fastcart, what about you? Did you ever buy anything off the concierge shopping page?
Yeah. Concierge VIP, my black card.
Oh yeah, everybody's got their black card. Let's see. Captain Rich, do you have your black card?
I have, I do, but I actually have
Captain Richard, look at us, Captain Richard. Look at your hosts. Thank you. You have to have a black card if you're on this show. Okay, thank you. All right, okay. There he is. All right, he's all right.
I was about to dismiss him.
Remember this way. You saw it first here, guys. Captain Richard has a black card. Remember that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
That's very important.
The story with me is that I joined, or I backed Star Citizen in 2014. A year later, before the anniversary sale in 2015, I thought that was like $80 in, so like $120 shy of Concierge. But at the time, during the CitizenCon and the October celebration, they were selling these. But you had to be a concierge in order to be in order for them to be purchasable.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, I'm going to buy the merchant in November. I'll be able to just get some gift cards and get myself a concierge, and then I can get a black card. So that's what I did.
Okay. Younique, let me ask you a question, because you were around back in the early days when these cards came out. What were some of the perks that you remember that were supposed to be tied to the black card?
The biggest thing that I remember was that you'd be able to get into events, like you could just walk in. That never really happened. But
that never happened. That's why I'm shaking my head.
Like you could just flash your card, just roll in. Yeah, that never happened. So I now use this thing to just like cut cake on birthdays. Okay. So it's got some use.
Okay, fair enough. I do want to say something that Cap touched on earlier. He talked about certain packages that you can't see. And a good friend of mine, I think he's in chat, Ops Chief, we were talking about what we had in our fleets and everything, and he told me, he said, Griff, it sounds like you've got a lot of stuff that you should probably look into packages, because I think you can get it cheaper if you buy it as a package. Sure enough, I had several ships that I was able to melt, go back and do 2 packages on. And when I did those 2 packages, I saved almost $320 difference going through the packages. So just so you'll know, if some of you all have large amounts of ships, look at those packages and see. Sometimes there is actually a savings if you decide to use one of those packages. So this is some information for you guys to use. Okay.
Wait. I wanna let you all know that Griffin is flat ass lying to you. There's 0 savings. All you get is you get money back in your account that you just spend later. That's all that happens.
No.
You get more ships.
No.
Still spend all the money.
Let me tell you why I saved money, because there were some ships.
Send you a nickel back.
No, listen. I didn't have every ship in those packages. There were 2 ships I wanted to buy. One was the Orion, and I think the other one was the Genesis Starliner or something. And what happened was, when I bought it through those packages, I saved money. You're right. If I had those all the ships and just rebought them in packages, it just would have went to credit. But because of that, I did save money. So, that was the only reason why I did save money. So it's a good point that you mentioned. That's a good point that you mentioned.
I was gonna say, Griffin, didn't you also get the fanny pack from the chairman club?
No fanny packs. No fanny packs. Sorry, no fanny packs. Okay, let's look at the last couple things here. Captain Richard, you get a sample of the Star Citizen soundtrack. Are you listening to that every week as a concierge? Is that something you play all the time?
Wait, is that on? Is that on there?
It's on there.
I have to be honest. I might have missed that one. Yeah. I've gone to Pedro Macedo Camacho's website to listen to tracks from time to time.
I agree. Yeah, but there are some tracks. It's not everything, but there are a few of them that are out there. Yeah,
but it's good because they put a legal notice on it that you can't just go out distributing this thing around without prior permission. So
Yep. And
where is that? I don't even know where that is.
I tell you what, if you look on your page where your different levels are, every one of them at the bottom says access to the soundtrack. Every one of them. Yep. They added that later. That's probably why you didn't see it, because it's at the bottom. You see it?
Yeah, I see it now. Because I know they had a content creators kit where they had like a number of tracks to if you want to do YouTube videos. Yeah, sample the Star Citizen soundtrack.
There you go.
Man, I had no idea this was here. I was looking at like the ships and stuff.
Learn something new every day.
New sounds for Captain Rich's show.
You've been missing out on all that value, I tell you. Okay,
I have. What's wrong with me? Jeez.
Okay, one of the more recent things is they did add to Concierge, and I know there was a lot of controversy about this, and it was access to the PTU. Some of you remember back in the early days, the PTU would go out into like maybe 3 or 4 waves from Evocati, and then they changed it at a certain point and made it where if you were subscriber or concierge, you would come in at wave 1. What were your feelings about that, Captain Richard? You didn't care? You thought it was cool? Thought it was unfair? Any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I'm a little torn, honestly, on that because they used to do it based on when you backed the game, right? If very first backers who'd get wave 1, they went 2 and 3. I wonder if CIG, not just to encourage people to be a sub or back the game for a decent amount, if maybe it was done for logistical reasons, where it's like, hey, they condensed it down to just smaller categories for access, because they used to do like 3 or 4 or 5 different waves for access. So I can imagine that might have been maybe like a customer service nightmare, be like, hey, I don't have access, but I think I'm wave 3. No, you're wave 4, and they have like 10,000 tickets like that. So maybe that could be why. But of course, that is an added incentive if you're willing to either subscribe or if you're a big backer of the game, so you do get P2 access kind of ahead of everybody. Yeah. So that's why I'm a little biased, because it seems like it might be a kind of a hybrid answer there. But
I get it.
Subscribing, yeah.
Well, Afrotastic says this: concierges are dedicated enough to have access. Let me ask you, Fastcart, based on that, do you think the CIG did it? Because I also remember some people kind of felt they weren't getting their bang for their buck with subscribing and concierging. Do you think that maybe CIG kind of decided to do that as a perk, especially since they added it to the concierge page? Do you think they just kind of said, well, let's give this to them as a perk because they are subscribing and being concierges?
Yeah, I think that would probably be the thinking behind it. But I mean, I don't think they imagined the blow up on Reddit and other places that it was going to become. But darn if you do, darn if you don't. But even if they were to say, oh, we're going to go back to the other way now, it would be a whole bigger thing now, because it's been like a few years now since they had it enabled. But yeah, I think it's because I mean, they put at least $1,000 in the game. Let's just give them this perk.
Okay. And Younique Old Lefty says something that's interesting. He says, chances are, if you donated $1,000 to the game, you're not going to troll its development. Is there some validity to that?
Hey, I can say that if you became a concierge, it's the best $30K that money can buy.
Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, I think you got to remember, I'm a long-time backer, so I already had the Wave 1 thing in the bag, right? So nothing changed when they changed it. From a software development aspect, being a developer myself, I kind of think they did it to get more users earlier on the server to load them out. I don't think they had enough people the other way that they had. They needed to fill up those servers to better test them. So I think it probably helped out with that some. So that's my personal perspective, but being around and watching a growth of the whole thing at that particular time, I think they needed more people, and that was the way to get it. So
okay.
Another concept there is that another concept is, without any money involved, are folks from ETF. There are ETF testers that, obviously they get access to PTU, and some folks there are just people who've purchase the game, but they just play the game a heck of a lot. So it doesn't always have to be a kind of a money thing to get access to Wave PTU. If you're a pretty studious tester of the game, they'll invite you in regardless of what you backed for.
That's true. Yeah. You're going to say Fastcart?
Yeah, we got a 30K for life in chat. So I think we summoned the 30K just now. Also, Scuba Steve said that his date said September 7th, 2014. That, as far as I can tell from Quick Chat, I think that's the earliest date. So maybe that's the date that it was implemented.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. I just dropped something else in here. I figured let's show it to folks because some people may not know or have never seen it before. The next area is that there is an exclusive store for people who are on Concierge. And so there are items that are sold here that they're part of the Chairman's Club, right, guys? Is that pretty much what they call it? Okay. So these are like Chairman's Club items that they're accessible to folks. In fact, Younique is wearing the hat right now that you see on this page. Some of you will see that, for example, you could get a Chairman's Club pin, normally $25. See, Cap's got his cap.
Cap's got his cap.
Very cool. Cap's got his cap. Okay. There's one of the packs listed there, the Entrepreneur Pack. The Escort Pack is listed there. These are the packs that Captain Richard mentioned earlier that are accessible. There is for those of you who have a few extra bucks, the Legatus Pack, which blew my mind because I didn't realize that it had increased in price.
It increased in price.
I was still back at the 27,000 mark, and when I looked to prep for this show, I saw 36. I was like, "Oh my god!"
I didn't notice
what else, Griffin? Griffin, I don't even see that package when I look at my street.
Yeah.
So that thing is not there for me. So you got it good.
Yeah, you have to be over a certain dollar amount to see Legatus. So now let me ask you guys a question since we're talking about this, and Cap, I'll go to you first on this. There was a lot of controversy in the early days when people would come to the CIG website and they'd see these ships. You know, the first thing they'd say is, what, $1,000 for a ship, $800 for a ship. Was this CIG's way of kind of putting like a little barrier there so that it kind of took away some of the constant steam that was coming from critics in relation to this, or people who didn't understand the backing dynamic of the game?
Absolutely. That was probably, you know, folks in either their PR team or their marketing team, removing the sticker shock factor from people who are new to the game. I think that was honestly probably a good idea. It's not that they wanted to restrict visual access. It was just to remove the sticker shock where people were like, wow, do they really expect people to, you know, instead of buying a new car, buy a package with a bunch of digital spaceships in it? So I honestly think that was probably a good idea for their, like I said, either PR or marketing for them to do that, because that, you know, that's something that the, you know, gaming journalism sites kind of harped on a lot, especially back in, you know, 2016 when the game was kind of suffering content wise. They're like, yeah, still charging $10,000 for a game pack for a game that hasn't been updated in months. So yeah, I don't blame them for doing it either.
And that headline still comes up every once in a while, especially when the Legatus pack the first came out for $25,000. That was a huge hullabaloo, or what do you want to say? And that was a whole bunch of sites on. I think Forbes and PC Gaming all had articles about that. So yeah.
And Fist to Face, yeah, to answer your statement, that is correct. It was 27. The reason it increased is because other ships were added to the catalog of ships. And so, yeah, as they get added, the price begins to go up. I just didn't know until I'd happened to look to prep for this show that it had gone up that much.
And people in chat are saying that you have to spend $10,000 in order to see the Legatus pack. I haven't gotten that.
That is correct. That is correct. Thanks for telling people how much money I spent, Fastcart. I was trying not to say it. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me ask you, Fastcart, have you bought any of the exclusive items before? Anything off the exclusive items, the Chairman's Club store?
I think in this I haven't opened it yet because I'm thinking to be a collector's item, so I haven't opened it yet. But I think in here is one of the pens and the notebook that they had available in the past. But as far as anything recent, I haven't bought anything recently.
Well, we're gonna break your heart and tell you what's in that package because that's not what's in it.
Yeah.
This is what's in it. This is it, right? There's. Hang on a second. Let me get out of because I'm in push to talk. Hold on.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't change that over before the show. There's a book that we get, and it's actually a very nice book. But it has
quality.
It's very high quality, glossy images, and it has like the history and a whole bunch of other very cool things in it. It also breaks down the different levels of Concierge in it as well. And this was one of the gifts that they gave to Concierge. How many years ago was this? About 2, maybe?
I have no idea.
3 years ago?
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, it showed up
something like that.
2 years ago.
Yeah, something like that. So that is a nice little perk that they sent out to us. But so now you can know that you can go buy that pen and notebook for $50 if you want to at this point. You don't have to worry about waiting now. Okay, let's move on past this with the store. And we're going to start getting to the juicy stuff that everybody wants to know about. They don't want to know about this store stuff. They want to know about the real things here. Okay.
Real Magilla.
Yeah. Reaching the next concierge tier ranks. And this is how when you move up from tier to tier, guys, there's multiple tiers in concierge. It says ranks can be obtained by increasing your total money spent. That merchandise and subscriptions are part of that calculation. However, gifts to your account will not count. So if people are gifting you stuff, you don't get credit in the sense of moving up in the tiers toward concierge. But anything else you spend money on, even if it's the monthly subscriptions, anything like that, merchandise, all that stuff gets added. And that's one of the reasons why you can kind of reach these numbers. There's some other ways that you can reach these numbers too that maybe we'll talk about on the show. But let's jump into the very first level here. Captain, the very first level for $1,000, what is it called? The High Admiral? Is that where we are? Okay. And let me show them a couple pictures here real quick. Let's see, I got to turn off some things here. That's what the black cart looks like for those of you who were kind of curious about it. It's a metal card that, and I think they don't give these out anymore. Is that correct, guys? They stopped giving.
Not available.
Yeah, they stopped giving them out.
They said they would consider doing more batches in the future, but it's been a while since they've offered them.
Okay.
I mean, these are pretty sturdy, and I don't know how much it costs to make them, but they're pretty sturdy. I like mine, but I might get another one if to sell them again. But I can imagine the demand for them would be so high, they would probably lose money on it if they don't put a limit on it.
Okay. All right, Cap, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to impose on you to read that very first High Admiral item that you get. Matt Rodeo, thank you for the gifted sub. Thank you. And Ribwitch, thank you for the follow. Air Quinn, thank you for the follow as well. Cap, would you tell them what that first item is you get for the first $1,000 that you give towards CIG? Could you share that with everybody?
Well, if I'm pronouncing this correctly, it's the Jacopo top hat and monocle, which are wearable items that you can put on your character in game.
So, yes, fans, for $1,000, you get
only $1,000.
Wow, suddenly it seems silly.
You get the virtual hat and you get the monocle. Now, I have to say this: I was not. I never thought very much about this, but I will say this. For those of you who remember when we had the big convention in New Babbage and they had the downstairs area, we found out that the monocle is much more than just a cosmetic item, that it is something that will have gameplay to it. Did any of you guys see that at the New Babbage store? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
And so that made me feel a little better.
Just a little.
That it's not just this, something for me to walk around on my luxury ship with this monocle, walking around like Commandant Clink. But it does have a function. I don't know. Do you guys know if any of these items have any use in the sense of lore in the game? Maybe if you wear the hat a certain place, something good happens to you. Does it represent something? I don't know anything about the hat.
Don't know. I can't imagine that wherever you wear the hat, you would get attacked.
Yeah, it makes you a bigger target in game.
I was a taller target. You know what? You made me think about the Old West where you see somebody shooting, the hat flies off their head. Made me think about that a little bit.
Exactly right.
When the monocle and the top hat first came out, I'm pretty sure there was a lore post about it, or maybe it came out a few months later, but I forget what the lore post said about him. But I think there's a lore post about it.
There's something about it. Okay, cool. All right, Cap, could you read the second item that people will be given for reaching that $1,000 mark?
Okay. Well, just real quick, just for a bit of history for the top hat and monocle, this was something that CIG actually allowed Concierge backers to vote on. Mm-hmm. They wanted to know what perks they wanted to see. If I remember correctly, it was a lady by the name of Chelsea Day who used to interact with, of course, customer support, and I think she was even part of the merch store. This was a long time ago, but Chelsea, she had a list of items where she said, "Hey, Concierge backers, we want to do more for you. Here are some suggestions." The whole top hat monocle thing was kind of a community meme before it was ever actually in the game. And when they put it to a vote, the top hat monocle actually was the top voted response from the Concierge community on the forums at the time. And that is how it ended up being in the game.
Wow, that's a great piece of history. Of all the things they picked was a top hat. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Some of the others were amazing too. They were like, "Hey, we know some of you are big backers, but you missed out on some of the early backer perks, like early Kickstarter pledges." Mm-hmm. That was even a potential option for Concierge backers, but no, the one that won was the top hat and monocle. And there were a few others, but because everyone loved the idea of being like, "Well, I can be a little hoity-toity in reverse."
Captain Richard seems to be quite up on the lore. Why don't you keep going and tell them all about Lamp?
Oh, the Lamp.
Yeah. Boy, that was, oh gosh, what
remember that?
Stream was that?
I've got one.
Yeah, that was a really long time ago.
Yeah, it was from a stream.
What was it?
Chris Roberts was doing. They had the lamp in the background, and it was a cheesy, cheap lamp. And I don't know whether they lost power or something, but he pulled it out, and it was on the table or behind him, whatever. And I don't know, the stream latched onto it, and then
yeah, because it was just on.
It was just on.
I can't remember why they did that. That's
Flint Dragon said that was the November 12th, 2012 24-hour live stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
that was before my time.
It became a thing, and now it's in the game.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
I was at that 24-hour live stream for some stupid reason.
I think that was the one you had to buy with website-based UEC, right? I know I still have it on my account.
Yeah,
I've got one.
A lamp.
Yeah, I've got one. Yeah, I've got one. Okay.
I don't have enough before my time.
All right, Cap, what's the next thing on that list?
All right, the next thing on the list was the Radagast Whiskey 2947 Homeward Limited Edition, which is it's a thing in game. I guess. I don't
Drank all mine.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I remember seeing that in game.
Yeah, it's interesting because on several of the ships that you go on, I was on a 600 last night. There's Radagast in the cabinet down there, and I'm sure the Phoenix probably has one. We were talking about this before the show, and I'd love to hear what chat thinks about this. I said to the group, I said, it would be kind of cool if CIG gave consideration to actually giving physical items. Virtual items are great to have stuff in game, but right now collectibles, many of you know that when you buy certain games, you pay $100, they'll send you a statuette or some object or something that matches that game. Cap, would you like if they were to send you a bottle of Radagast for your $1,000 pledge, or you satisfied with the virtual?
I have something. Hold on. Let me jump off for just a second.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
I have something that I could show that might be somewhat of an example.
Okay.
Do note that it comes with 2 glasses.
Yes, the 2 glasses. Yes, absolutely. You might as well. We have to have that whole kit if they're going to send it to us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So as an example, this is something that Twitch had done, not necessarily something that I'd bought into or otherwise. But this is just a typical small bottle of Coca-Cola. But Twitch, what they did for a TwitchCon is they actually had my name printed on it. So it's a bottle of Coke. It probably didn't cost them too much, but it was actually customized with my name on it.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, wouldn't that be cool? Even if it wasn't like real whiskey, although it'd be better. Yeah, if they had maybe a bottle or something.
They would be asking for all kinds of trouble if they sent to try to ship whiskey, through email, through the mail or whatever. But,
right. I live in Maryland, and you can't even have like liquor mailed to you. So, it's
I will say this to what Younique said: if they were to send that cask that we're looking at on screen right now, that would be very cool. To me, it would be very cool to get something like that.
I'd be happy to fill it up with whatever.
There you go. Okay. What's our
Empty
next?
it first.
What's our next item, Cap?
All right. It looks like the next item is the Klaus and Werner Arclight 2 Laser Pistol Executive Edition, which is the kind of the black and gold pistol, which it's kind of a nice, fun in-game perk. Oh man. Oh yeah.
Now here's the thing. Do you guys ever use these? I never use them because if you die, you drop it and you lose the thing. I never used mine.
I did for a long time. I used to be that guy,
the gold man, the man with the golden gun.
Right, the whole thing, the gold sniper rifle, all sorts of stuff, which we'll talk about. But but you're right. I kept losing mine because I kept like dropping it or getting blown up, and there goes that one. Having to wait till next time they patch the game to get it back.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. And what's the accompanying item to that, Cap? We got one more there.
Let's see. The last one here was the High Admiral Certificate.
Oh, that's right. The certificate. I forgot about that. I'm ahead of myself. That's right. That's the next category. Now, some of you guys don't know this, but they actually give us a certificate. We get a PDF. Whenever you reach a certain level, they send you this nicely ornate PDF that has Chris Roberts' signature and some other people's names on it and stuff. And it says, you have now achieved, I think in this particular case, it was High Admiral. So once you cross into 1,000, and you also get the soundtrack, by the way. Soundtrack is also at every level. You get the soundtrack.
I just downloaded that. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
They send you the PDF, but I got a physical version too.
Really?
Yeah, you actually get a physical version. Yeah, I got mine somewhere.
Oh, wait a minute. How'd you get it? Via mail? In the mail?
Yeah, they mailed it to you.
Man, I never got that. I never got that.
How'd you get that?
Yeah, it was signed by Chris Roberts, I think Sandy Gardner.
Oh, hecky no. I've been ripped off. All I got was the PDF.
Whoops.
I just got a PDF.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Maybe you had to hit Wing Commander. Maybe you had to hit Wing Commander. I don't know.
They had to. It was for a particular time, like Olafty says, and because I remember they asked, it's like, hey, what do you want your name to be on there? Right. And then they mailed me a physical copy. I still have it in the tube. I want to have it framed. It's been a while.
That's cool.
Forgot about that.
Well, we lost out on that fast cart. We didn't get in fast enough. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if maybe we just haven't spent enough money on it. I don't know.
Well,
15,000.
Lefty said they stopped doing it. He said they used to do it.
Oh,
They stopped doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Now they got the digital one where you can just
It's easier.
type in your name and it prints out, and you can do what you want to with it.
Yep.
Number one says they're going to turn into Star Citizen NFTs, which would be kind of fun. Yeah, really.
Oh, that's a good. I've been looking for something to NFT. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one there. Fast cart Grand Admiral. How much money do you have to spend to be Grand Admiral?
You have to be 2,500. Almost at the wrong thing. 2,500 total spent. And the first thing you get is the Carlson Warner Arrowhead Sniper Rifle Executive Edition.
The Executive Edition. By the way, just so you guys will know, these are all cosmetic. There's nothing special to these weapons. They just are black and gold. They're just kind of.
They work though.
Yeah, they work. Yeah, they work. And they're tricked.
Yeah.
They're tricked out for the look, if anything else. So we don't want you to think that there's any special advantage that you may have by having these weapons, other than dying in style. That's about it. Okay.
Yeah, and whenever I go out, I play Star Citizen. That's the rifle that I equip or show around. So whenever I die, I do lose it. But yeah,
I'm gonna start following you around so I can pick it up and melt it later on. That's good news to know. Okay.
There is one small perk for the weapons that you receive as part of Concierge is that you always get to have them after every progress wipe or all the guns you've bought. If now that we have long-term persistence, it's not such a problem. But back in the heyday, where it was always a problem. Anytime they patched the server or wiped everything would be gone, except for your subscriber weapons and your Concierge weapons. So you'd always get them back, permanently added to your account, which is nice.
Cap, do you know once the game is the game, once it's really going, what will be the status of those weapons then? Will that still be the case that they'll somewhere retrieving them?
They will be where you left them.
So that's it's a good question. They've mentioned that something that customer service has brought up is say that any ship that you've pledged for with real life money, you can never permanently lose. They will always provide a way for you to get that specific ship that you pledged for back. Elite Dangerous has a kind of a similar program where it's like, you might not get it back right away, but you can get your ship back. So I'd like to think that they'd extend that to, Concierge weapons. They have talked about maybe having a Concierge exclusive NPC vendor in the game where, say, you get blown up, you lose your golden sniper rifle, that you would be able to obtain it back from that vendor. That's not something in the game just yet, but that's something they've talked about in the past as far as being able to recover either subscriber weapons or Concierge weapons or what have you. So they're thinking about it.
Star Wars: The Old Republic have a vendor like that.
Exactly. Yeah. You take the elevator on top of the bar, and there was that special area, and then they had vendors so you could get back your limited edition gear. Yep, I remember that.
Okay, cool. Now, Fast Cart, you are at Grand Admiral. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, all right. So your next big achievement is Space Marshal, right?
I do have the Grand Admiral certificate, but it's not a physical thing like we were talking about before. But the next one is $5,000 total spent, and that one they get the Venture Explorer Suit Executive Edition.
Okay, let me hop over to that real quick so folks can see what that looks like. Some of you have seen people in these this armor. There is some other armor that looks very similar to it in game, but there are no special perks to this. I kind of kept hoping that there was. But the armor class and ratings for these are around 20%, if I'm not mistaken.
Can you imagine the feedback and blow up they would have if they actually have some kind of special thing or special perk along with it?
Yep.
They can't do that.
Yep. Oh no. I agree with them not doing it. I just figured maybe there was something special about them beyond cosmetics, and basically it's all cosmetics. So. The golden suit, is it practical for some people? Like they love wearing it because it looks good. Whether you're going to go into battle with it, don't know. Maybe, maybe there'll be a whole platoon of people all in gold suits and they go into battle. Let's go to Younique on the next one because Fast Cart jumped down ahead of me a little bit and I wasn't expecting that. Let's see, where are we now? That's okay. Let's go to Younique. Younique, let's go to Wing Commander.
Yeah. All right. So on Wing Commander, the big perk there, after spending 10,000 USD, is you get the Anvil Aerospace F8C Lightning, which is the thing.
I want that so bad. I want that so bad.
I have one.
What were you saying, Younique? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said. You said you get the FAC Lightning and what?
Oh, that's the thing I wanted all time. So, I started progressing up past Space Marshal and on into Wing Commander, which is kind of cool because a Wing Commander in the past with Chris Roberts and all, it was a comfortable level to be at, and you get the FAC. So I'm like, yeah, that heavy fighter, I like that. I really wanted it.
Okay. Now, I'll give my time of confession. As I mentioned earlier, each one of us are at different tiers in the game. This is the tier that I'm at now. I just recently crossed over into this tier. I had no aspirations for the F8, ironically enough. I always thought it was a cool ship, but I also thought I'd never get one, to be honest with you. My original accumulation once I crossed the 5,000 mark was I kind of figured that's probably about as far as I'll go, maybe $6,000. But before I know it, I was Lefty says he'll take it. But eventually,
I'll take it.
Yeah, I crossed.
Tell me first.
And it was kind of funny. Cap, I'll tell you a funny story. I just happened to look up at my account one day, and I saw I was at like $15 short of crossing the line. And I'm like, what do I buy? So I think I bought a helmet and a suit, something like that, just to cross the line, you know. But I want to ask everybody about this with the F8. Now, again, I'll start with Captain Richard. Younique said that this was something that he really did look forward to getting, you know, the heavy fighter. Of course, this is the ultimate fighter in the game currently. Cap, do you, maybe you can reflect a little bit on the game lore of how players can still achieve getting an F8 versus people who get it through Concierge?
Well, yeah, they again, as Shakes mentioned in chat, yeah, there's a little bit of a hullabaloo, right, fastcart, about
a little bit.
Players getting this as a perk in general at the concierge level. Because originally, after people found out about it, CIG told us about it, it was supposed to be a ship that was going to be exclusive to Squadron 42, and then you would be able to obtain it after Squadron 42 launched, and if you completed the game. But then they added it as a concierge perk, and it's like, wow, okay, so yeah, regardless of playing through Squadron 42, which I fully intend to do, it's kind of nice to know that I have one already, and who knows, maybe we'll get slightly earlier access to it. But I think the big thing I remember is being elated that I got one, but also again it caused kind of a somewhat of a stir in the SC community because it was originally supposed to be a Squadron 42 exclusive.
Now let me ask you a question: Is it just ending Squadron 42, or is it you have to achieve a certain level at the end of Squadron 42? Do you remember?
I thought, they said you had to beat the game to have access to it.
Just beat the game. That just.
No, I've heard two things. I think the first thing they said is you had to beat the game. Now I'm hearing, according to several people who are more in the know than I am, you have to beat the game at a certain difficulty, like the highest difficulty, in order to get there.
That's what I thought it was. Yeah, that's what I thought.
At the beginning, it was just you beat the game and you get one.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe we need to get some clarification from them, because I've heard both stories too. I've heard both. Fastcart, is this something that you would like to have, or are you really, that's fighter thing's not your thing for the F8?
No, I really want one. Like, I mean, I really want one. I mean, I'm not even sure I'll be able to. I was heartbroken when people started saying you had to beat the game at the highest difficulty. Because I was thinking, I'll just beat the game and I'll get one and I'll be good. Now they're saying you have to beat it at the highest difficulty. I'm like, I'm not sure I'll be able to do that, but I'll give it a try. I really want one.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's see. Let's go to the next one. Cap, it's on you. What's the next one we got on our tier level here?
Well, the next one was one that was a little bit newer. This is what replaced the previous completionist pack, or a completionist level, which is now known as Praetorian. On the spreadsheet here, it has the Apocalypse Arms Havoc Scattergun Sharkmouth edition, which were, if I remember correctly, I think those are only size 1s. Hold on, maybe if I...
I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you, because it's not like they give you really great weapons.
Yeah,
these perks.
It says here, personal defense has never been more fun than with these size 1 scatterguns strapped onto your ship of choice. Yeah, that's scatterguns are fun, but fun. And then
guns are fun.
And then, of course, another one that was also kind of a shocker was the fact that CIG took the FHC and made it not just a tier at the previous level, but at this level, which gives you an executive edition one. It has the same black and gold trim as the 600i executive edition. But this one, notably, it's not just the exterior, it's also the cockpit has been done with that specific color scheme, exclusive to, well, Praetorian level backers of the game. So yeah.
So what you're saying is everyone in test want to spend $15,000 to get that back, right?
I don't
they
think
will want to spend $15,000. Will they?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Now, as I just mentioned to you guys a few minutes ago, I just crossed Wing Commander a little over a month ago. Younique just recently did Praetorian. Younique, for you, was this kind of a mark that you didn't expect to get to, or you kind of, you figured, okay, once I cross this, I'm there.
So when I started down the road, it was, well, the game's going to take 10 years to build, so I will progress. As they progressed, I would put more money in.
Can I stop you for a second?
Go along with it.
Can I stop you for a second? I want you guys to know that Younique is a software developer, and you heard what he said. He said when he started, which was in 2012, he said it's going to take 10 years. And he didn't say that jokingly. As a software developer,
he said it was
that was his straight face answer about this game. So go ahead. I just wanted to highlight that.
So I was like, all right, I'll put some in and I'll move forward along with it. And as they continue to make milestones, I will contribute more money, and as they solidify things too. Because in the beginning, they didn't have all these levels and things. It was just give me money and we'll do great things. So the community was voting back in the day on things. I mean, it's changed much and many times over the time period. So that part's been fun. So I figured, hey, I can get to that 27K maybe level if I just spread it out. And so I was doing that. And I'm on my plan. It was pretty funny because it was only just a couple of weeks ago. I picked up an Orion, which I bought out of Melt. I said, okay, this is going to take me over. I'm right on my schedule. And then I checked the page after acquiring it. It said, here's your brand new F8 Lightning black and gold. I'm like, great, I got 2 F8 Lightnings. So I can let fastcart fly one. Wow. You can fly one. And then they have this little diamond shape graphic, and it has a percentage indicator that says how far you are away to the next level.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, 15K is not that far from 27K mathematically, which I'm pretty good at. But it said 63%, and I was staring at that like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm like, this isn't right. Let me use my concierge to fire off a nastygram that says, hey, you guys are fucking up the math. So no wonder the game's not working all the time. But then I scrolled down and saw that they had changed the price on the whole thing. It said $36,000. I'm like, yeah, that kind of money might go to like Tesla or something, but it's not going to Chris Roberts. Like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Now, I will say, to your point, that if those of you who don't know, there is on our pages, and just so I'll try to do a quick screen grab on this because I'm glad you mentioned that. There is on our pages, CIG is happy to let us know how far away we are from the next level, even though you didn't ask to find out. So, so what Younique is talking about is this.
You should show that.
I am.
As accommodating it as it is, it's not a positive thing.
It isn't, and it is a serious marketing tool. It really is. When you see that that's how far away I am from the next level. I have no intention of getting there, but believe it or not, if I buy 1 or 2 more things and that thing is all of a sudden at 87% or 93%, I actually start thinking about it, even though I tell myself I'm not going to. So there is a interesting dynamic of their marketing people of putting something like that in
well,
game.
even this graphic, look at yours. I tell you exactly what that little dot tells you. It says you're just around the corner. That's what it is.
Got around the bases.
Yep, you're almost to the base.
Yeah.
You're almost around the corner into the home stretch.
Yep.
They're not crazy. They're really good at the marketing.
Yeah, no, they know what they're doing. You're right. Okay, let's go ahead and move to this next level. I guess I'll put this on fastcart. Why don't you go ahead and announce the next level
Legatus Navium. Is that
Yes.
that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that used to be the 27,000 one, and now it's $36,500 US dollars. And with that, you get the thing behind me that he has on the screen right now, the Origin 600i Executive Edition.
Now, let me hit something real quick on this, and maybe I'm going to ask Captain Richard if he can comment to it. Maybe Younique can comment to it. When these packages increase, particularly this one, the Legatus, because as we mentioned earlier, it was at 27,000. Well, actually, wasn't it 25 at first? Wasn't it? It was a step below that, wasn't it? Or did it start at 27?
25,000, 27,000.
Right.
Yeah.
So it increased. No, my point is that it increased. So my question is, does that value go? If you came in at the 25,000 package and it's worth 36,000 now, you're gaining value on that. Is that correct?
Do you still have it if they change it?
No, you have to have it. If once you had it, they can't take it away from you just because you haven't spent it.
Right.
Well, so that's what I'm kind of dubious on is the concept that although the cost of the package of the same name has gone up in price, I'm not entirely sure that CAG has actually moved the goalpost to get the actual Legatus Navium rank. So, I mean, I don't know if this is still up to date or not, but as far as a backer title is concerned, say like Star Citizen.tools, the unofficial wiki still has it listed as 25,000. Again, the package has gone up in price with the same name because they keep adding ships to it. But as far as I know, the Legatus Navium tier is still at 25,000. But again, it would probably take somebody from I don't know, maybe Xylo or someone else from the community team, or even CS to confirm that. Because again, I've reached Legatus Navium, but I think that was back when it was 25 as opposed to the 27 25. Or the 30 plus that it's the package now is. Because again, I didn't become a Legatus Navium buying the Legatus Navium pack or even a completionist pack. It was something that pooled up over time. So. Yeah, again, it'd be nice if we could have that confirmation.
Okay. So,
my question is,
go ahead, Fastcart. Go ahead.
Was it always Navium? I always remember Legatus, but I don't remember the Navium. Was that always part of the title?
I don't remember.
I just remember Legatus. Navium was something new that I've seen. And what I was going to say too is, and we want to make a distinction, Cap. I'm glad you kind of made this distinction. There are some people who have eased up into these levels over time. You know, it's been over a time period. They've put down so much money and they cross these different levels of Concierge. But then there are some people who literally buy the $25,000 package. They drop 25 grand. There are some people who will drop $36,000. And so that's a little bit different. And I think that's what you're kind of saying, Cap, right? Is that the fact those people who cruise into it is one thing, but if someone buys the 36,000 pack, that gives them something different. Because even though you're at the $25,000 pack, it doesn't mean you have all the ships that are in Legatus Navium, right?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. That's something.
And that was the big thing about the completionist pack is previously they had a package called the completionist pack. It was 15 grand, but it actually didn't even have all of the ships in it, and they never updated it. That's why they removed it, because it wasn't technically a completionist pack anymore. It's actually kind of far from it. So and that's when they came out with the Legatus Navium package, which did have everything, and that's why it keeps going up in price, because they keep adding more and more to it.
Okay.
So the year Legatus came out, that was 2 years ago, I want to say, 2019?
I was given that title on November 20th, 2017.
Wow.
2017.
It's been that long.
Okay.
It's been that long. Wow. So, Cap, we're going to ask you, since you're the one guy who probably has the 600i gold, is it worth it? I don't mean like, is it worth it that way? Do you think that this was a good compensation? Do you think they could have done something a little bit? Because you don't hear people barking about the F8 as a prize for reaching that level. But is the 600i black and gold executive, does that hit the mark for you, or you think they could have done something a little different?
Well, I've noticed more people are using me as target practice these days anytime I fly it. But, I mean, CIG didn't have to do this, but they are trying to come up with ways to, say, hey, especially for very big backers, like, hey, here's a nice perk. I will say this, though, which I've talked to other Legatus backers as well. They like the fact that they got kind of a special edition. It stands out in the verse a little bit, but the interiors weren't ever updated to match the exterior. The executive edition. F8 Lightning, that has both the exterior and the cockpit done in that style.
That's
but the
right.
600i Executive Edition, they only did the exterior and not the interior.
There you go.
And some of us who are, a little hoity-toity found that to be a little bit lacking. Not complaining, but they slapped an exterior skin on our paint and then kind of left the.
Listen, brother, you need to have a gold toilet. You hear what I'm saying? Right. That's what you need to have in that sucker, all right? Everything that's metal in that sucker should be gold as far as I'm concerned. Then it'd be worth it. It'd be worth it at that point to me. But the exterior, the skin, that's why I felt this. I'm glad you said that, because that's what I think that they should have done. They should have definitely made it executive inside and not just the standard 600. That was a little heartbreaking for me. So.
Yeah, I even have a golden toilet emote because I'm still waiting for them to add that to the executive edition chip. But I'm happy to have it. It was cool when they said, "Hey, guess what? We're giving you a free 600i."
Yeah,
I already owned one, but hey, another one never hurts. Yeah. But yeah, people love to blow up an executive edition anything in a game. So, and I don't mind. I understand that comes with the territory.
Yeah.
So.
Well, sometimes Xylo's here, sometimes Jake is here. If you guys are here, trick out the inside and also throw in an 890 that's gold as well. If they're at 36,000, you throw in an 890 and then you're there. You'll have it 100%.
No,
there.
that'll be the $40,000 one for you, Griffin.
Yeah.
No, but I'll try to go over this real quickly. You mind if I go to the ones that are below Concierge?
Sure.
Yeah, so Captain Richard mentioned the Star Citizen fandom, the Wikipedia, and I went and saw some of the older and lower tier titles. So you have Civilian with $0, you have the Scout with $30, the Mercenary at $40, Bounty Hunter at $60, Colonel at $125. Freelancer is also at $125. Rear Admiral at $250. Vice Admiral at $500. I was at Vice Admiral for like 6 months, and then High Admiral at $1,000. So they do give you titles that you can change on the spectrum page and change your icon and to reflect your title.
I hate to say this. All these years, I never knew that they were associated to the giving levels. I always saw them under my name on my profile page and always wondered where they came from, but I didn't know that they were associated. Really? I didn't know they were associated to the giving levels. I don't remember ever seeing anything to say that.
They were also supposed to be able to paint those or somehow print them on the ships. You're supposed to be able to have it on your ship, but I don't know if they're going to go away from that or not.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I remember I remember exactly what you're talking about. That was a long time ago.
That was before my time, then. Okay, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was some of the things that they hooked dumbasses like myself. So. We'll put this on your ship. No, we won't.
Wow. I had no idea. I'm glad you told us that, fastcart. Listen, we're going to do today we're going to do some giveaways. We had Mad Style who gave us a generous donation of 20 subscriptions, and Captain Richard's here today, so we're going to give away a couple of LTI ships to help you reach Concierge. So we're going to do we'll do a couple. We'll do a Vulcan with LTI, and we'll do a Drake Vulture with LTI. Nice. So we'll do both of those in a little bit. We're going to talk about just a couple more things that we're going to share with you guys that maybe you do or don't know about reaching certain levels of Concierge. Let's jump down into a couple more of these descriptions here. Let's see. Cap, would you mind reading that one that says about War Bond? Could you read that one for us?
Gotcha. Yeah, sorry. Somebody just asked in chat if there is anything higher than Legatus Navium. As of yet, no. But once again, they are going to refactor the Concierge program. I'm sure you probably saw the email about that not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The two-fisted Legatus Nova. No.
Tell me about it.
One in each hand. You can get.
Okay, so which one? The Warbond one?
The Warbond one. Yep.
Okay. So it says, Warbond for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo or the Invictus Launch Week CCU. It says these special Warbond CCU pledges will be available for 24 hours of that specific manufacturer. Once we move on to the next day, the credit version of the upgrade will be available.
Mm-hmm. So this is one of those perks. If you're Concierge, you get to do a little bit ahead of time, 24 hours ahead of time. You get a little bit of a bonus if you decide to purchase. The next one is the one I'm going to read about, and maybe Cap, you can give some background because I think you're probably the only one of us that may have experienced this. Some of you all know that there is also an area called the Million Mile High Club in the game. And And in the early days, you had, and correct me if I'm wrong, you had access to the Million Mile High Club if you reached 10,000. Does that sound about right, guys?
That's correct. Day? It was offered as a perk for both the Wing Commander pack, which was 10K, and the Completionist package, which was 15K.
So you had to buy the pack. Is that what it was, Doc? Captain?
That's correct. Yeah, that's how you.
Okay, so just reaching 10 grand wasn't it. You had to buy that package.
All right.
Okay, and those people could invite people to come to the club with them, if I'm remembering correctly, right?
Yeah, and MMHC members who have that perk still can to this day.
Okay. How does that work? Did you get into a group or something and they get access? Because those doors are normally locked if you go there.
Yeah, I believe it's just party driven.
Okay. All right.
Wasn't it accessible to your hangar or something at one point, or you just got invite everyone to a group and then boom, you got access?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, you're right. It was part of the old hangar module, or the hangar module where the elevator in there. Yeah, that's right. Wow, that's a good catch because that's how it was accessed originally before it was moved into the verse.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Fastcart, did you ever get to visit the Million Mile High Club?
No, I saw a bunch of video. Clifford, aka Miku, did a stream when it first came out, and I jumped on the stream and got to see it. But I don't recall ever being inside of it. But I mean, it looked nice, and yeah,
okay,
it's a nice perk.
Younique, what about you? Did you ever get a chance to visit it?
Yeah, I did visit it. I got invited in and went in because I was contemplating melting down everything and then rebuying the package itself. And then after I got in there from the invite and looked around, I was like, okay, don't need to do anything. So
okay.
And your backdrop is from the Million Mile High Club right now, actually.
Yeah, yep. I did that just for the show. So
we're going to
anybody hasn't seen it, I'll move my chair out of the way.
No, you don't have to. We're going to watch a little video that CIG put out about it. It's about 15 minutes long. So this is when they first were showing us what the Million High Club would look like. So let's take a quick look at that.
Hi everyone. On this week's ATV Behind the Scenes, we're sitting down with Persistent Universe art director, Mr. Mark Skelton. Mark, how you doing, man?
How are you, man?
Good.
How's Disco Landbro?
He's all right. He's all right. It's a little in retirement, but Jared Huckabee, community manager, is still here.
That sounds formal and sexy. I like it.
Yeah.
It sounds like you should be wearing a tux or something when you're talking to me.
I look good in a tux.
Do you? I don't.
It is. All right. So back on track.
Anywho.
We're here today to take a look at the upcoming Million Mile High Club that will be introduced in Star Citizen Alpha 2.0. So you're going to take us on a brief tour? Maybe start with some concept art, maybe?
Yeah, let's do it. So a lot of the ideas that came about were, I don't know, we were bouncing around different ideas for what this place should be. I was a big proponent of using some previous assets that we had just because it makes the process go faster and we've already established it. So I used a little bit of some of the G-Lock bar to start with. Obviously we expanded it away from there, but so the G-Lock bar kind of it was kind of like already had that kind of industrial vibe to it a little bit, maybe a high-end, I don't want to say steampunk, but more like a high-end, nice industrial bar with like wood and some gold inlay and nice mood lighting and stuff like that. So kind of went in that direction, decided to start messing around with that. The first thing I did was start looking at other industrial bars that are real world. So there's a bar in LA that we kind of attached ourselves to. It's called the Edison Bar. I'll show you some of the stuff.
Bring that over to the screen.
Yeah, I'll show you some of this stuff. So the Edison Bar was really cool. It's got like this really interesting kind of industrial vibe that we were looking for. It's got a lot of like warm lighting in it, which I really liked, a lot of woods and stuff. So this was kind of the launching point for what I was expecting, you know, what I was trying to shoot for with this. I'll show you some of this. So yeah, that kind of classic high-end like cigar, type bars that you would see in LA and various places. So with that, we first initially did a layout, which Behavior did a nice layout of the bar itself, and then I had Ken Fairclaw do a paint over of it, which I kind of went back and forth on. So after we kind of established what the layout would be, just a quick mock-up of the previous assets that we had. I had Ken do a paint over. We walked back and forth, or went back and forth with, again, the expectations and what the focus of the bar would be. Right off the bat, I felt like there was this big element right when you walk in that I thought was really cool. It's like kind of a mobile, like large sculpture. So kind of focused in on that and started Ken doing some paint overs here and there of it. Thought it would be kind of cool to reflect kind of a solar system kind of vibe to it, since obviously, this is a
space game.
Space bar. So also incorporating some of the wood elements and brass, which would go with the whole vibe of the thing. So kind of started with that, started putting things in place. The other thing that we were going back and forth on was the logo for the bar. We ended up going with something more elegant, the 890, and something more high-end, which, the 890 is kind of a high-end yacht anyway. So we started bouncing it back and forth. Wanted kind of a NASA vibe, a little bit, I know Chris was really digging on that. So we had some variations, and we finally kind of leaned towards like 2 and 3. After we kind of established all that, got the sign-off from design as far as the layout goes. Usually design, what they'll do is they'll walk through it and give us what's called a critical path. The critical path is the path that the player is going to traverse the most. So we concentrate on that, make sure that that path has enough interesting things in it and moves correctly enough before going forward. A lot of it has to do with, we don't want to, obviously if you have a critical path, you don't want a lot of things in your way. You have to walk around stuff and do all that, because it kind of destroys the flow, of the open area. So after we got that back from design, we started arting it out, and then since we had a lot of it established, I would say probably 50-60% of it's established from the G-Lock bar. We started with that and then started adding pieces to it to, again, pull it more towards a kind of a more high-end industrial vibe. So with that, I will show you what we came up with. So again, establishing the look and feel of it. I wanted dark metals and this nice high-end wooden floor to kind of accent how swank it is.
It's very swank.
Yeah, we did. I had a nice, we had some nice ideas about some material variations. So we got these like little soft walls, which I guess if you party too hard, and you're staggering out to your spaceship, you don't wreck yourself. Just good. Bounce off the walls. We got this dude, super intimidating. He's gonna check your he's gonna check your stuff, man. Make sure you're who you say you are, or he's gonna beat you down. So then we decided to, originally, like, the door was kind of over here, so when you come out you kind of make a right, and that didn't feel grand enough. I mean, we wanted to make it feel like when you walk out of this elevator, which the elevator's right here, when you walk out you have this kind of red carpet feel, very high-end, swanky, like a New York club or something like that. So again, concentrating on style, making sure that the style fits to what we wanted. These sculptures kind of, reflects like the big sculpture inside, which you'll see in a moment. So then you walk in and it's like,
Thank you, Mad Style, for the gifts. Thank
so again,
you.
here's the big element I was talking about. We wanted something, again, like looking back at that kind of Edison bar, they had these really nice diffused lighting elements at the top. So we put those in there, which it kind of helps break the ceiling up because the ceiling's really dark, especially in places like this. The ceiling doesn't matter. Obviously, you don't want to focus on the ceiling. You want to focus on things around you. We went with a warm cool, which I'll walk over to the fish tanks in a minute. But the fish tanks added a nice cool element to like the nice warm floor. So your eye immediately is like, ooh, I want to go play with the fish tanks. So over here is the lounge section. The lounge. So you know, you and your bros can hang out and watch the Murray Cup races and you know, whatever you flip on TV. This is a nice touch. They because I like cigars so much, they decided that they should put cigars in the game for me. So I thought that was kind of sweet. So again, I mean, lots of wood, lots of nice leather fabrics, dark versus gold materials, which accent really well. Everything's lower lit, so you get darker corners, it's more intimate. And also it pulls the player again to the main section. So you walk down here and here's our little swanky dance floor with the logo that we were talking about, which I thought turned out pretty cool.
Yeah, it does.
So here's this big element above you that's moving around. So initially we had wood in the interior of these. It felt too heavy. It felt like the thing would weigh 1,000,000 pounds. And so putting glass in there still reinforced the, you know, the high-end beauty of it, but made it feel a little thinner and not so heavy. So we put in this nice big fish tank.
People are gonna love that.
Yeah. I want to see Scuba Steve cruising through here.
Can we have Scuba Steve?
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. There might be some...
I actually had
some
fish,
Easter eggs in
which
here.
I miss.
Hard enough.
My
We'll
fish.
see.
I miss
See
my
if
fish
anybody,
too.
Looks hard enough.
Or the space
For the
crab,
bar
the Thorsham
itself,
Gray.
we decided to go with kind of a like nice panoramic view of Terra. Just again, class up the place, make it feel you know, higher end for sure. Have another big fish tank over here with a really swanky sculpture. Let's go over and check this fish tank out. Ooh, look at all that. God, this would take some money to maintain right here.
Yes, it would.
Good Lord. So again, using the cool tones to kind of set this corner apart. So you've got warm over here and cool, which kind of pulls you right over to this section. So you can hang out with your friends again, smoke some cigars. I like the cigars, man.
Apparently.
And so you also have your own bartender. You can come over and talk to Mr. Man, and he'll set you up with a drink, which I think his animations are off right now. You get the gist.
Yeah.
But yeah, we continued this Terra element like through the bar behind him. You can see like behind him, it's kind of a full thing. Nice full bar, nice big area, nice seating. So yeah, and then there's a door over here.
There's a door over here.
Which you cannot access right at the moment, but for future secret, top secret expansions, there may be something cool in here. Which check back, and I bet you there will be. But that's about it, man. I mean, it was a cool little space to do in a relatively short amount of time, reusing some higher end assets that we have and changing them, making them a little better. You know, we took some of the seats from, again, the G-Lock and kind of did little brass elements around it and put a nice brass strip on the floor. That made all the difference in the world. The floor originally was like just a big sheet of wood. So we decided to come in with accents and kind of gold inlay some of these elements, which break the whole floor up nicely. You can see it's just not an ocean of wood.
Red wood, yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. All of the lighting elements and everything kind of fall in line with the sensibilities of what we were trying to go for. So.
Well, very cool, Mark. Thank you so much for taking us on this look at the Million Mile High Club.
Sure, it was great working on it. Had a lot of fun.
For those folks who own the Million Mile High Club, you'll have access to it, to the first iteration of it in Star Citizen Alpha 2.0. And there's
invite me.
Yeah, I don't have one.
Yeah, invite me because I want to come hang.
Yeah,
with,
invite
with
us
the
so
cool
we
people.
can go hang with you and your Million Mile High Club.
Yeah.
Don't invite Ben.
No, Ben doesn't deserve it.
Guys, Mark, thanks a lot for taking us through.
Hey, well, thank you.
Back to you guys.
See you.
Okay, so let me jump in here real quick. Cap, you I saw you nodding your head or shaking your head when he got to that segment talking about that door on the side leading to someplace else. Is that actually working or is it not working as far as you know?
Not working, yeah.
Okay, so it's still somewhere down the road. I gotta say this, during his description of the room, he said, this will be a really cool place to hang out with your bros. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm tired of all the testosterone. I want some women up there too. Otherwise it's gonna be real boring with a bunch of guys up there as far as I'm concerned. Let me ask, Cap, something like this in the game. I know that someone mentioned this in chat earlier, that they do show that there's a concierge area in the game. Do you think setting up these different social areas is a good thing? Do you think it's a negative? Do you think it's good as long as we're able to invite people to bring in folks to participate in those areas? Because I can see how some people might think that, some things, where they're only able to get in there because they spent so much money.
Yeah, and that's always going to be a divisive subject, right? The folks who have access to it, they're like, oh yeah, thanks, that's awesome. And then the people who don't have access to it, they get the whole FOMO experience, the fear of missing out, where they're like, oh, why can't I get in? If you've ever been that person standing outside of a nightclub or a concert, where you want to get in, but you can't because people are having a good time. Or at least that's what you think is happening, and you really want to get in. But so this game, Star Citizen, just like Star Wars: The Old Republic, if you ever played it, they had exclusive areas for people who were backers, just kind of above or well above what would be considered the norm. However, in my experience, those places end up just not really getting used that much. It's like a cool thing to have, to say you have it, and you visit there, but until even in Star Wars: The Old Republic, there wasn't a whole lot of functionality to it. It's just like it was that exclusivity where you're like, yeah, I got in and now I'm here, and it's like, and okay, and then yeah, so.
Well,
that's about it.
You went where my next question was. I'm going to jump over to Younique on this. Younique, what would make these areas attractive? Why would people want to spend time in these areas? Because they, at first we heard all the hubbub about it, then you didn't hear anything about it. Some people don't even know that these clubs exist, or these areas even exist in Star Citizen. What do you think that CIG could do to make those areas intriguing, and not only just come to once, but to keep coming back there?
No, you don't talk about Fight Club, man. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I think there are things that there are an idea to toss out to different levels of people at certain things to keep moving the marketing forward. And then certain things just run out of gas, so it's a good idea at the time. But it ran out of gas pretty quick because how much money are people really going to spend to get there? And I think they sort of missed the boat a little bit too. They said, okay, you can get it if it's 10K, but then you couldn't work your way to 10K. You had to just flat out buy it, right? If you didn't buy it, then you didn't get it either. And I think that's the biggest mistake what they made with that, because it didn't let people be able to progress into things when the whole game is about being able to progress up. You're supposed to be able to buy any shipping game and all the other things. So, if I work for it, I should be able to get it. And you're telling me that there is no way to work for it.
Okay. Oh, Lefty said something here. He said maybe that area could be for the exclusive concierge items. That would be a reason for people to return. And I know Cap and fastcart, you guys talked about how that was. in SWTOR, they have the exclusive area. Maybe this could be it. I was thinking about as far as a game mechanic. One of the careers that's in Star Citizen and you guys know I'm very biased toward this career. People who talk about what is a luxury career? How can you have a luxury career? I see areas like this as being an area where people who have luxury careers can get jobs and hires from people in these areas. There's only certain types of missions that can come out of here, whether they be NPC based or based upon players in the game. So I would love to see them work in something that way, where these areas could be used for people who are in that luxury category. Don't start, GG. The people who are in the luxury career. Let's see. Okay, Cap, was there anything else you want to say about this before we move on? Oh.
Yes, there is one last thing that I actually would like to mention.
Yeah.
I don't actually have access to the Million Mile High Club.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened there was, again, even at the Legatus Navium level, CIG doesn't give you access to the MMHC.
True.
It was originally, as we covered, it was part of two packages. It was part of the Wing Commander package and the Completions pack.
Mm-hmm.
Both packages are no longer available, but I got my Wing Commander package after that perk had stopped being a thing as part of that package. So, and then just since then, I've gone on to Wing Commander, Completionist, Legatus Navium, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But even to this day, even for Legatus members, they still don't let you have access to it.
Right.
The only way to access it now is through, of course, the referral program. You have to have 1,042. At one point, I've talked about this on my stream before, where I'd actually talked to CIG about getting access to it. Let them, I said, hey, of course, I stream the game, and I wanted to be able to showcase it to people on occasion who maybe would be interested in doing the referrals and what have you. And CIG actually, I refrained from specifics here, but they said that they would actually give me access to it for showcase purposes and streaming purposes, what have you. But eventually I actually declined because I didn't want people to think that I was getting special privileges or treatment just because I was streaming their game. So that's why still to this day I'm still trying to earn the referrals to get access to it, but I don't have access to it. So and I appreciated that at the time, and then now I'm like, what was I thinking? They handed it to me on a silver platter, and I was like, no, it's fine, I'll earn it the old-fashioned way. And then I know, I was like, what was I thinking? I'm not quite there yet, but I'm pretty on my way to hopefully getting access to MMH.
Let's help out Captain Richard.
There you go, guys.
On board.
There you go.
Referrals so he can invite us all.
That would be great.
So, someday.
That's
or they could just lower it to 2,500. That way I'll have access to it, right?
But it's not. It doesn't. Money doesn't mean anything anymore. It used to be about the amount you gave, but now it's strictly referrals. And that's a tough one. 1,042 referrals is no small task.
It's a big number.
I can't even get 5. I can't even get the referral fish tank.
I don't even have 1,042 people in my family.
Okay. All right. Listen, let's go ahead and hit this last piece here. Recently, CIG put out an email to the community, or at least the folks who are in the Chairman's Club in Concierge, and they shared with us that they are doing a revamping of this whole concierge area, and it's going to be broken into different phases. And so I'll read it real quick to everybody. These are the things they're saying that they're going to do to make it better, because people were kind of saying, what's going on with Concierge? We really haven't seen anything change here. There's a lot of money invested. Can we make it better? And CIG did put out a couple surveys asking what could be done to make it better. And this was in response to that survey. They said they want to double their staff in 2021 to meet the growing needs for the Chairman's Club. Now, I don't know if that's referring to people when they say staff, whether that's in relation to technical support because of the concierge being able to, put in, and we do get quick responses back. I don't think,
we do.
I don't think I've ever waited more than 24 hours for a concierge response, except
not even 12.
Except when something like Invictus is going on or the convention. At that point, they're getting inundated by everybody in the community. But as a regular, less than 24 hours, I get a response back, which has been pretty nice.
And whenever there's a Citizen Con or like a holiday thing going on, they always tell us the ticket support tickets will be slower at that time than normal. They always warn us about that.
Yep. But I just want them to know that don't think the concierge get a break during that time, because we get thrown into the lump with everybody else. So just so you'll know. The newsletter. It will feature several new sections, all directly pulled from our feedback. These new sections will give more exclusive information about everything Star Citizen, rather than just repackaging information from other emails and announcements. In Spectrum, they say that in addition, we will be posting more frequently to give you a heads up for events and promotions, answer frequently asked questions, and more. For the Chairman's Club tiers and in-game rewards, they're going to be exploring ways in which they can enhance the area of in-game rewards. That just hasn't happened at all in the sense of for people in the Chairman's Club. And then Chairman's Club pledging. Concierge members will enjoy a window of several days to pledge via the Concierge store, even after the ship promo has ended for general players. As I mentioned before, usually that promotion is 24 hours before a normal ship sale goes to the community. They're saying now they may extend that further just because sometimes people miss it. On that Thursday sale, they didn't see it, they didn't know about it, they got home late, whatever the case may be.
Some people take a month off or a week off, or like I say, a month off, and you know they miss stuff. So yeah,
and they come back and they've missed out on something. Yeah, absolutely.
Don't want to miss out on that next Kraken.
Yeah, you're right. Younique, let me go back to the original thing when we started this whole thing out, because I didn't really get to ask this. And the question is, did you ever think that you'd be where you are in the sense of your backing and financial support of Star Citizen? Did it surprise you that you got to the level that you are? Or were you very concerted about saying, hey, this is where I'm going to, this is it?
Oh, I never really sort of kept track. I mean, until Star Citizen, I'd never paid more than $60 for a game. I mean, it was just completely outrageous, right? The only thing I was trying to do was, Chris Roberts came back out. He really seemed passionate in his original intro. Being a software engineer myself, I understood his story about the limited hardware and, companies pushing on you hard to get things out and compromise before your vision is completed, and then making you pay for it when you don't complete your vision. You complete their vision, and then it's terrible, and they try to make you the bad guy. So I felt for him. I've been there. So it's like, all right, I'm going to support him. But it's much later in my life. I just have the resources where I could support them more than I thought about. And much of it was simply, oh, I want that. Bloop. Oh, I want that. Bloop. Oh, I want that. Bloop. It's kids are grown, out the door, school's paid for. I have the money, I can just do it. So I was just doing it.
Okay.
Wait, I thought everyone here was streaming from a cardboard box like I am.
No. I didn't say I wasn't. My box
I was around when you got that new car, Captain Richard. I saw that car.
Fastcart, what about you? Did you ever think you'd be at the place where you are? Did you plan to be at the place you were? Or did you just happen to wake up one day and say, oh my God, I can't believe I've spent this much money on the game so far?
Like I said, when the black card became available for sale, I looked at my hangar and saw how close it was. I was at 880, and I was like, "Whoa! I didn't know I spent that much." Okay, so I just got to spend $120 more, and I can get the card. Oh, by the way, some people say, like I heard Griffin say, you want armor or a helmet or something like that to cross over. Just invest in gift cards. That way you can use on-site credit. And I mean, you can melt the other stuff too, but I mean, gift card is simpler, because if you even if you decide not to use the armor, you can use it on something else and be easier. That's just my opinion or my advice. Gift cards are the way to go if you're close. But yeah, as far as shooting for it, I thought I would stop at 1,500. CitizenCon happened, and I got the VIP ticket, which is like 130 or 125 or something like that. And some ships came out, and I was also a subscriber. And like you said before, subscriptions and stuff like that count towards your concierge limit. So it wasn't anything I shot for, but when I did get close to 2,500, that's where I started slowing down a lot. I've been at around 2,500 for almost 2 years now. So
okay, so you've been kind of holding the fort around there, which is pretty good considering there have been sales and the anniversary and everything, and you've been kind of holding on. That's pretty good. Lunar Steve, thank you for the follow. Raylan, thank you. TB, thank you for the follow. Oren, thank you for the follow. And Mammon Lord, hey Mammon Lord, thank you for the follow as well. Cap, what about you? You're in a little different scenario because of you're streaming full time. Was this kind of the same thing? Did you kind of have this mapped out as a part of the plan? Was it tied into streaming in the sense of it? I know you've done giveaways and some other things that have kind of helped you get there as well. What kind of got you there? Were you thinking that you'd ever get to this place where you are with this game?
Well, yeah, so my situation is a little bit different, but I will tell you this. Here's a story that I don't think I've ever told even on my own channel, at least not that I remember, is that my roommate, a guy I live in his place right now, I rent his loft, he actually backed the game, and considerably, at least a few $100 worth of ships and everything. And before I was a streamer, and I was like, really, man, you're dropping $100, a couple $100 or 300, 400, $600 for ships for a game that's not even out. And I actually poked fun at him at the time, and I can tell you I've deleted all that evidence. But yeah, then I got sucked into it. I bought a $125 freelancer game package. That's all I'll get. I bought special editions of Diablo or World of Warcraft, and those can cost upwards of $100, right? 120. So that was kind of the high end of what I was ever going to spend for video games. But then it bit me. I got the package of the freelancer, but I need a fighter now. I really like racing the game, so let me get a racing ship, and it kind of snowballed from there. But again, my situation is different because I actually started streaming the game, and because I worked full time for almost 5.5 years before I became a full time streamer. A lot of the income that I made from my channel was from the Star Citizen community, so I took a lot of those funds to pump into Star Citizen, and that's how I ended up ultimately becoming Concierge. I mean, yes, I wanted ships and picked up a few things here and there, but a lot of it was the community, Star Citizen community, supporting me, and because I didn't really need the money personally, I was taking those funds and I was pledging that towards Star Citizen to have more things to showcase on the stream, to let other players check out stuff that they might not have access to otherwise. And it has really grown. It's grown a lot from there. And now after what, it's been 6.5 years. I've become a pretty big backer, but not on my own. I'll never say that it's this was just me. This was just me. It was because many people, literally thousands of people, have contributed through my channel as a proxy to, one, support me as a Star Citizen streamer, but two, knowing that I also do support the project as much as I can. And that is how I ultimately became Legatus Navium, because otherwise I would have been like, oh my god. So my account is I function somewhat of a proxy as much as a dutiful backer as well. So it's really same thing. It is even if it's my channel, it's still been kind of a community effort to I'll make Legatus Navium happen.
Absolutely.
I have a question for Captain Richard. So you also have a black card. Does it allow you to jump?
Just a little bit, just try to get there. Actually, I do have they have a Legatus card as well, which is kind of a
they do?
Really?
Yeah, like a kind of a metallic gray kind of color. So I don't know what that is. Yeah, I put that somewhere around here.
Wow.
Hey, I can't do a show. Hey, I can't do a show unless I get Griffin to facepalm at least one time. Okay.
Yeah. Oh god.
I'm trying. I'll get up there eventually.
Okay. Listen, we're going to do our first giveaway, and I'm going to present another question to our panelists today. The first item we're going to do is for a vulture, and so we're going to ask that if you are interested in going into a giveaway for a vulture, that you guys would give me 1 second here, and I'll tell you what the magic word will be.
Or gives away origin ships. You notice that?
That's not an origin ship.
I say you never give away origin ships.
Oh, no. We ain't giving away no origin ships.
Yeah,
Okay. Exclamation point vulture. Exclamation point vulture if you guys are interested in a vulture. And while I'm asking these questions, I'm going to start back at Younique. Younique, what was the very first ship you bought when you got into Star Citizen? Very first ship. Do you remember?
Wait, let me finish typing exclamation point.
No, you can join.
He knows he's disqualified. Go ahead.
Okay. What was your question?
What was your very first ship? Very first ship that you bought?
I think the very first ship that I actually purchased was a 325.
A 325?
The racer.
325. Yeah. Okay, 325. Fastcart, what about you? Very first ship you bought?
I got the 315p, and then
just the first one. Just the first one. Just want to know the first one. 315p.
Cosmic Trader.
First, okay. And Captain Richard, what was your very first ship that you bought?
Well, I originally started wanting to be a space trucker, so I went with the space, kind of big rig, the Freelancer, back before there were any variants of it.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, I wanted to be a space trucker in the early days.
Okay. Well, they got me with the Avenger. It looked so much like the space shuttle to me, the Penguin, and so that was how I came into the game. So, and that was a long time ago. $50 well spent, though, I will say that. Okay, let's get ready to do this very first giveaway. Everybody, !Vulture if you're in. Cap, why don't you give us your traditional 3, 2, 1 or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 count that you do all the time, and we'll punch the button.
All right, here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, bring it together, makes 1, ding! And the winner is, drumroll please.
And the winner is, did it pop up? It didn't pop up, did it?
I don't see it.
It should have popped. It was delayed. So many people. There we go. Fat Docs 8. Fat Docs 8.
Congrats, Fat Docs.
All right.
Nice.
Fat
You got
Docs
a heck of a
8.
name too. Congrats.
Fat Docs.
There we go.
If you would send us your Star Citizen or your CIG email and name to soulcitizens@gmail.com. soulcitizens@gmail.com, or you can send it to me via DM. And we will get that out to you. The Vulture, congratulations to that. Congratulations. I'm going to start back with our panel. We're going to do a second giveaway. We said we would do that. So let me clear the board here. And I'm going to present to our panel another question. What was the last ship, the very last ship that you... No, I don't want to ask the last ship. Yeah, let me ask that one. What was the last ship that you purchased from CIG? Let's start with Younique once again.
Do the ground vehicles count?
Yeah, that'll count. I'll buy that for $1.
All right, so the new military missile double, was it the missile
MT?
plus the gunship?
The MT?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
That finally was a vehicle that made sense to me, so I picked that one of those up.
Okay. ! Citizen Shenanigans, thank you for that subscription. Thank you. ! Vulcan this time. Vulcan! ! Vulcan if you would like to be in the giveaway for a Vulcan. Fastcart, what was the last ship you purchased?
I'm trying to find it, but I evidently decided to gift Shiver Bathory of Table of Horror. I gifted him in a Royal ES, and that was like in 2019. But yeah, I'm looking at my spreadsheet to make sure I got it right, and that looked like the last ship I bought.
Okay, all right, very cool, very good. And Cap, how about you? What was the last ship that you purchased?
All right. Well, so the last ship I purchased was kind of once again, kind of a unique situation. It was actually, it was kind of a crowd effort where a bunch of folks from my channel had actually sent me funds to pick up the Fortuna pack, which was of course, the Mercury Star Runner with the fun Stella Fortuna skin and the new Tumbril Cyclone MT. So again, another example where my situation has been a little bit different because a lot of people pitched in and said, "Hey, Cap, let's get you this package," and that's what I picked up. So again, it was people sending me stream tips and funds and whatever, but of course I took that and sent that right to CIG, and now again that's how the billing page keeps going up and up and up. So awesome. a little bit different, and I can't help but be appreciative. It was very, very kind of people to do that. That's awesome. I'm sure somebody was very happy. That was a great package to give away. Okay, all right, let's get ready to hit it one more time. Anybody who wants to be in on this one, ! Vulcan, and Cap, if you would do us the honors once again, please. All right, is everyone ready? All right, here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2. Bring it together. That makes 1. Ding! And the winner is, drum roll, please. Ed Wired has won the giveaway.
All right,
Ed Wired.
Ed Wired, you have also won. You've won a Vulcan. By the way, both those ships, the Vulture and the Vulcan, are with LTI. Once again, please either direct message me in Twitch, or you can send the Soul Citizens in Twitch, or you can send it to soulcitizens@gmail.com. Please be sure to give us your game name as well as your CIG name, and we will get that out to you. Congratulations. Okay, one final question before we wrap it up. And this is going to be the tough question of the night for these concierge. Younique, what was the biggest investment for you in Star Citizen? Out of all the things you've backed, what was the largest investment that you did?
Like a single ship or a package?
Whichever one you want to share. I'll leave that up to you.
Okay. Well, I'll say the original Orion, the whole group together Orion package. Not the Endeavor. The Endeavor package with all
the master class.
Yeah,
the master kit.
Yeah, that was the first time I had spent over $1,000 in one purchase.
Okay.
Wasn't that just $1,000? Josh, but wasn't that $1,000?
Well, the cool thing, so it was a little over 1,000 because I also bought an extra farm thing because I was like, oh, I could put 2 of these things, so I bought all. But then I melted it down because other ships were in the game, blah blah blah. I knew I could buy it back, and I recently bought it back to go over into Praetorian. But the cool thing with that is because I'm also a subscriber, I got to use the discount code as well. So
nice.
Like Griffin, I saved money.
There you go. Okay, there you go.
I didn't save anything.
I just want to tell people, even though the last time I bought was 2019, I still dabble in CCUs a lot. Especially like I bought the Heart Seeker CCU on February Valentine's Day, February 14th. So I still dabble with CCUs, but ships not so much.
He has a lot of CCUs, gang. I've seen his CCU list. He has a lot of CCUs, a lot of them. fastcart, what was your biggest backing piece that you did for CIG for Star Citizen?
Well, I'm going to say the biggest before the Endeavor was the Merchantman. Technically, it's still a Merchantman because they went up in price, even though I paid $250, it's $350 now. But it's got to be my Endeavor.
Okay.
I bought like a whole bunch of, not a whole bunch, but quite a few modules with the Endeavor. I didn't get the whole master class, but I got the. I bought 2 modules, but I can't remember what they were, but definitely the Endeavor.
Okay, all right, cool. Cap, how about you?
For me, it was something that, you talked about earlier about how some people have gotten some of the bigger packages by melting a bunch of ships that are already in the package. And for my biggest acquisition, which was the Wing Commander pack, which was now no longer available, that's how I got it, was from melting a bunch of stuff that was already in it and picking it up, which at the time was a $10,000 game package for CIG or for Star Citizen. So, biggest single one would easily be a Javelin, though. That was that was a big one.
That is a big one. That is a big one. Okay, for me,
just one.
Yeah, you said just one.
How dare you?
For me,
give me time.
Yeah, for me, it was if it was a singular ship, it was the Endeavor Masterclass as well. I just did that one back in November. I had hemmed and hawed about the Endeavor for quite a while, and I finally decided to do it because I had been watching so many videos and doing a little research on it. And when I kind of saw the possibilities of its growth, and I don't mean just in the sense of physical size, but just all the things that it's capable of doing, I said, you know what? It's going to go up in price later. My gut feeling is it's going to go up in price. And so I'm like, let me go ahead and secure it now. And as far as packages, I did is it the Mega Exploration Pack? I think that was the bigger one that I did. I don't know. It was like 2,500, whatever one it was. It wasn't that one. It was something that was like 2,500. That was probably the largest package that I did. So, yeah, that's about it.
Oh, so someone in chat pointed out to me. I didn't know this, but yeah, the measurement is $450 now. I wasn't sure. I didn't know when that happened.
There are a lot of ships that have gone up. The 600 has gone up in price.
But the measurement is $200 in price.
When it first, back in the day, but those days are gone, brother. Those days are gone. Those days are gone. Yeah. Well, listen, we are going to get ready to wrap up. Thank you guys so much. You gave such great information. Chat, thank you all also as much. Yeah, the Carrack went up too. Yeah, the Carrack is not what it used to be. Yeah, it is like $600 now. Thank you to everyone who subscribed today and also those who followed. Some people I didn't get a chance to shout at. Zach Royalty, thank you. Rispin, thank you. Evil MacGyver, thank you. L66 Channels SC, thank you. JGrind20, thank you. Lord Doodoo, thank you. Like that name. Citizen Shenanigans, thank you again for the 1 month subscription. And Jammer550, thank you for the subscription. Let's swing down and start with Captain Richard. Captain Richard, let people know, where can they find you?
All right. Well, I can be found at twitch.tv/Captain Richard Monday through Friday, starting at 7 p.m. US Eastern. And just to say thanks, just dropped a 5-sub bomb for you guys. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Cap.
I know we've been talking about it for a long time, and I've really had a lot of fun today. So I just wanted to show my appreciation.
Wow. Thanks. We appreciate you having here. And Lefty, thank you for 5 gift subs as well. Thank you both for that. Helps pay for the ships, guys. Thank you. Oh, as you guys know, everything goes right back to the community with us. So we appreciate any of the subscriptions that you guys give us. Let's see. Fastcart, where can people, I'll go to Younique. Younique, where can people find you?
Well, basically, find me hanging out with Griffin as far as Star Citizen or with Test Squadron, Best Squadron when we're in the game. And then other than that, I'm working on my crypto business. And so we'll be revealing that in a couple of months, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Yeah, now he's been working diligently at that and doing quite well with it, in fact. So that's very, very cool. Fastcart, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter on twitter.com/fast_cart. On Tuesdays, I'm on Miss Hart Show on the Base Radio on Twitch with the Fight the Rhythm set. This week, I'm doing old school rap. I had this idea completely independent of Spacey did old school rap yesterday, but I'm having my old school rap theme on Tuesday. And in 2 weeks, on the 20th, we're having a all Prince show, 2 hours of Prince to celebrate his life. It'll be the 5th anniversary of his passing on the 21st. So we're doing an all Prince show in 2 weeks.
We have to make sure we plug that up really good. That's very, very cool. By the way, Cap, we want to invite you and some of our people who are here today. We are going to be doing, I just had a weird fluke thing of thinking about bar citizens, because, we used to hear about them quite frequently, but of course COVID came up and it kind of became a distraction. And I happened to go to the Bar Citizen site today, and I saw only one location globally that had one posted. So we are going to host a virtual Bar Citizen on Saturday, the May 1st. And we're going to invite, if you're part of our group here, that's great. But we're going to put it out there. And anybody who wants to come and hang out, we're going to go on stream and just hang out with folks and connect. And, I'm sure we'll have people from East Coast to West Coast, because our team is made up of people from all over the place. But, we want to invite just the community as a way to get together, as we're kind of still pushing through this whole COVID thing. But we still want to have a way to get together community-wise, because we didn't get to do it at the convention last year. And who knows what's going to happen this fall. So we're going to try to do that. So you guys will start seeing more about that. But Saturday, May 1st, easy day to remember. It'll be at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And folks can just kind of drop in when we do that. So that's going to be coming up. Okay. Otherwise, Captain Richard, thank you so much. You're gracious. We really appreciate you, especially sharing all the information and knowledge you had, plus the gang that you brought along with you. For all of Captain Richard's folks who are here tonight, thank you guys so much for being here to support him and us. And we're going to see you guys real soon. We're going to do a raid on Jet Set tonight. Jet Set is a new streamer, and we've been sending some love to her, and she's really excited about Star Citizen. So you guys, when you get there, give her a shout, say hello, encourage her, because she's really getting pumped up about Star Citizen. And again, thank you for being here tonight. As always, take care of yourself, stay safe, and peace, love, and soul. We'll see you guys real soon. Take care.